Hello, good evening everybody. Welcome to round 7 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship in the GTR2 simulator, coming to you live from the Suzuka circuit in Japan. We got a great one in store for you tonight, but before we get into the nitty gritty, let's welcome my broadcast partner here tonight, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Al. I'm all about the nitty gritty. Now, I don't know if you remember, Al, but let's reminisce a little bit. You remember that arcade game, Pole Position?
I do.
Let me tell you this right now. Since then, this has been my favorite track of all time here at Suzuka. With such flow, requires such precision around this place. Tough track to get right lap after lap. Weather always a possibility around this place. Heat usually. Very tough to pass. I love this place, Al. Looking forward to it.
So I got to ask you, Brad, what's that have to do with pole position?
Has everything to do with pole position. That was the precursor to Brad's sim racing experience. From that moment to this, Al, here we are.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that was the precursor for a lot of people of our age. But yeah, it's a great one here in store for you guys here tonight. We have an incredibly tight drivers championship battle, incredibly tight team championship. We got the Kramerica team, Kramerica Industries leading right now in practice 1 and 2. The 2 Corvette C7s up top in practice. Aaron Parsons just jumped into 3rd. We're about ready to move over to the qualifying portion of this of tonight. And I'll tell you what, this track, like you said, Brad, it's an amazing circuit. Let's take a quick look at the track map here tonight, Brad.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, here you go, 18 corners. For turn 1 through the S-curves. I mean, just corners that are just synonymous with motor racing. One of the greatest racetracks in the world. Dunlop curve, the spoon. And then, of course, 130R leading up to that chicane. Just a very technical and just a great circuit to race at.
Yeah, there's almost no corner on this track that isn't important to one's overall lap times, and it's an interesting track. It does really require a lot of aggression on throttle, but a lot of patience on entry into a lot of these corners. And again, that first sector is so important, that one, to get right, have good flow, carry good momentum through those corners. And boy, the last part of that sector there, through the last couple turns, you do have to be pretty aggressive through there, and that can lead to some mistakes and some problems for drivers behind too. So guys are going to have to be on top of their game. I tell you this, Al, looking through timing and scoring though, the times are very tight for running here. A little over 2 minutes a lap, just a couple seconds separating the entire field, Al.
Yeah, it's tough to gauge. I think the guys up front are running low fuel runs midway through 02s. That should be race pace from the last few times we've run here. Just so you guys know, max distance for tonight's race is going to be 29 laps, and it did go the distance the last couple times we ran here. Pole time for last season's race as we just cut over to qualifying. Ooh, and it's raining damp though. And well, I'll tell you what, if these guys can get out quickly here while the track's still damp before it really gets wet, we could be in for a surprise pole sitter here, Brad.
Yeah, we sure could. It's a little tough to tell which way it could go. The ambient temperature right now is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not really a good indication if it's going to get wetter or if it's going to dry out. So I guess we're going to have to wait to see which way it goes. But these guys are definitely going to want to get in the best lap they possibly can, just in case it does change for the worse, no doubt. Yeah,
Ryan Schleif out there, first to act. He was he led the practice session, but real quick, doesn't look like we're gonna reach this beat last season's pole time, or I should say season 23's pole time at this track was a 2:04 set by Alex White. Don't quite think these guys are going to be able to set that kind of time here in these conditions.
I don't think so. If the race does happen to go dry and conditions are pretty good. I think we'll see some 01s tonight, but yeah, obviously going to be a struggle for these guys here in the damp and qualifying. This track does not dry out particularly quickly either, so this moisture will probably stick around to some extent.
So these wet conditions probably not what Kramerica Industries wanted to see. They have the pace, but not pretty unsure as Schleif takes it off track. So that's going to give advantage to Poel here. He's going to be the first guy to set a hot lap. As unknown now, we haven't had many wet events this season, so that Corvette, not too sure how that thing's going to perform in the wet. It's a new car this season.
You know, it has very good balance, and the guys have obviously turning great pace as their official practice time showed. So I should think that it would be okay in the wet. It's just a matter of adjusting to the conditions.
David Poel on his way to start the hot lap here. Let's ride on board with him. Give you a good sense of the track layout here.
Yeah, boy, this first corner, as you say, very critical, Al. Just kind of feathering the brakes here and downshifting to scrub off a little bit of speed. You want to take this one with a little bit of not too much momentum on entry, but really hit that throttle as soon as possible. Of course, David's going to have to be very careful, and then this flowing section here of this series of left and rights. Extremely critical corner here, this left-hand corner actually. A very important part of the first sector.
So as he exits the S's here up through the Dunlop curve. In the dry, this is a corner that these guys would probably be taking flat out.
Yeah, pretty close. Some cars will probably have to breathe the throttle a little bit, but that's certainly the goal, is to get flat out. Here you can really nail the throttle in the dry very early. A fun corner to get right, and of course coming up to the hairpin now, David no doubt will be in first, but can he control the wheel set?
Yeah, you're right. Exit here is critical. Very easy to light up the tires on exit. It does. Looks like David did a good job on exit there, as it is very cloudy out there, and looks like this track is just going to start to get even more wetter than it is now into Spoon.
Yeah, very critical. This is probably the most critical part here in the second sector. The hairpin actually is, you can be pretty consistent through there, but through Spoon, very easy to get a wheel wrong. Not much grip out there now. Not too much spray coming off the tires, Al. I think soft slicks here for these guys.
Yeah, that exit to Spoon, very critical, and right here, 130R. Very easy to take it wide out onto the gravel, and then the run up to the final chicane here.
Yeah, braking key. Very bumpy there in that braking zone.
So David Poel on the exit, on his way down the start-finish line. We'll see where Poel ends up here. Obviously to provisional pole. Oh, maybe not. I take that back. Alex White takes it to provisional pole with a 2:10.7. Looks like Alex White snuck out before the rest of these guys. Ryan Schleif, 2:18. That's not going to get it done. Cup it to the line to third. So
now,
go ahead, Brett.
I got a little lost on my tire manufacturers. Unfortunately, I can't remember which Porsche is in which, but Alex White may be on the preferred tires here in the wet.
So Aaron Parsons in that Mercedes coming to the line. To sixth. Luton has jumped up to fifth. A lot of traffic. A lot of guys out on track. Very hectic at the moment as the track has gone to wet. So Alex White may be in the catbird seat now. Setting that early time, I don't think anybody's at this point. That's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, interesting. The temperature has gone up, yet it has continued to worsen a little bit out there on track with the moisture. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is going to be tough. But look at Mike Trussell up there in second out.
Yeah, I just brought him up here, and he snuck one in as well to second. So what a coup this would be for Scuderia Pusheen Patrol, I think it is, or there's a couple Pusheen Patrols out there, and I'm not sure which patrol they're a part of.
They're a part of some patrol, no question about it. Now, there is a chance that some of these guys swapping over to the soft wets, if they can make them hold up here, actually there's a ton of grip in those soft wets, even with the tread on them. The question is really being able to kind of control the heat when the track isn't have a lot of moisture on it. So if they can do that, there's still a chance some guys can creep forward.
So Trussler 3/10 off here in the second sector. I wanted to stick on with him as he was on a flyer. Just to see how far off he was on in terms of pace in these conditions.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this is Alex White's teammate, so no doubt sharing some setup information, and these guys putting that Porsche to very good use.
So Trussler a full second off at the moment, and it doesn't look like he's going to improve. Oh, I take that back. He does. So just 2/10 off Alex White. So the pace is there, Brad, as David Poel is running third. So it looks like the track was just a little too wet. Might have just gone to complete wet on their outlap. Kind of missed the changeover. Kurt Chandler currently sitting in fourth.
Yeah, nice time for Curtis. You know what I think happened is some of those guys who bit off the pacer actually went with the soft slicks, and I think the Pusheen Patrol guys, I think they went with some treaded rubber, which is why they set those good times early. I think they made the right choice.
Marty Uren on an outlap. Got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Yeah, he gets off the throttle, give himself a little bit of room there. John Lynn, a lot of guys on outlaps. Run down the road here. Montgomery Jr., last week's winner at Bathurst. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Salem currently residing in 7th, carrying 50 kilograms of success ballast as well. So, as he mentioned in the post-race commentary, he's used to the weight. Give me more weight.
Yeah.
Parsons good enough for 8th. Just started a hot lap.
I wouldn't think that Mercedes to be too good in these conditions, but go ahead, Al.
No, I was just saying, Parsons coming out on a hot lap with a boatload of traffic out there. We've got about 35, 36 drivers on the grid here tonight. So a clean lap is going to be at a premium here. Take a look further back. Cuppet in 9th. In that Corvette. We talked about their pace in the dry, but currently in the wet, they are struggling. Juan Monroy running in 10th. Just saw his split time 2 seconds off the pace, so he must have had an off at some point somewhere. Omar Gomez, Brad, your protege, currently sitting in 11th in the Lamborghini.
This is interesting.
Go ahead, Brad.
His wet weather times now actually a little bit better in terms of overall pace to the leader than his dry times. It's interesting.
Now this Lambo is on Pirelli's, I believe.
This one's on the Michelin's, Al.
Yeah, you're right.
Boy, some time's being set. Matt Taylor actually has jumped up into 2nd place, bumping Mike Trussler now, so at 10.8, and it looks like there is still some time out there.
So we'll see where Omar checks in here. To 10th, he's improved. Bumping Parsons to 11th. Parsons, to P1 with a 209 flat. So great lap from Aaron. Marty Uren has jumped up to 2nd. So yeah, these times are starting to come down. Take a look at Marty's time at 2:10.3. So Parsons a full 1.3 seconds ahead of 2nd place. That's an astounding time.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And like I was saying, particularly in the Mercedes. I wouldn't think that car would be very good. Not a tremendous amount of front end grip, not an abundance of front grip in that thing. So in the wet, that's very impressive. David Poel now to the top.
Alex White up 0.08 of a second. Ooh, and he takes it wide. He was up in that first sector. Yeah, so David Poel to provisional pole with a 2:08.4. So these guys are finding their pace. Parsons right back out there. Cuppet to third now. Talked about Cuppet. He said he's feeling good in that. Oh, he made a mistake. But talk about him feeling good in that Corvette here. Liking his chances.
Yeah, well, really likes the track, was really excited the last couple days. Word around the paddock is that was the case anyway, so good on him. We'll see where he ends up.
So Matt Taylor currently 7th, and further back, Houston's jumped up to 8th. Dressler now running in 9th. Jaime Moore had a great run last week, currently sitting in 10th, just starting a hot lap. Kurt Chandler's now back to 11th. Mike Monahan has jumped up to 12th in that Panos.
Now that does have the Pirellis on it, and that will help him out in these wet conditions.
Looks like Mike's on an outlap. Dan Wilkerson also on an outlap, currently 13. Iggy Chiordia has jumped up to 14th. Greg Myers in the pits, currently 15th. Montgomery Jr. back in 16th. He's dropping like a stone.
Yeah, sure is. He hasn't quite got it figured out yet.
Omar Gomez has dropped down to 17th. Juan Monroy. Monroy looks like he's struggling a little bit here. Brad currently in 18th. Yeah, Continental Shod. Audi.
Yeah, for now, I have to think that he will get it figured out as well. But, yeah, languishing a bit at the moment, Juan Monroy. He was actually looking pretty sharp in practice.
Mascarelli has just dropped down to 20th. All out of shape. Felipe Triana back in 21st. Ooh, Felipe put a wheel off in the grass into the barrier. Rodrigo Triana currently 22nd, so both Audis, Team Columbia Vintage, appear to be struggling here tonight. Connor Swain, a little surprised to see Connor back in 23rd after his run this season. Jared Keane, running 24th. Ryan Schleif back in 25th. He's got a boatload of traffic ahead of him. He's on a hot lap. He's got Lou and Johnny ahead of him. He may want to park it and go back out. No, John, no. Lou's might put up a fight. Lou looking on the inside.
Could actually. Whoa.
Oh, Johnny gets it all right. Oh, we got a cluster in the chicane.
He's going to try to finish off this lap. Ryan Schleif sitting with a 16.7 at the moment, so he could actually improve.
Yeah, he may improve. He's gonna to 19.
He did. Wow, and that's the frustration. That's the frustration you get sometimes. It happens in qualifying, and with 10 minutes to go, got to control those nerves if you're Ryan Schleif. Get one in.
And Sam Rolfe back at 27th. Story's running 28th. Kevin Miller back at 29th. Johnny exiting the pits in 30th. Halili, no surprise to see him way back in 32nd. And Prado, Jolicoeur, both with no quals. McIntyre not participating in the qualifying session. So back out front.
Forecast for thunderstorms just popped up, Al.
No, it's just going to get even wetter as David Poel continues to sit provisionally in first. Alex White second, off by 4 or 5 tenths. Parsons about to cross the stripe to third.
Wow.
So Parsons having a nice run. Marty Uren in fourth. Looking further back, John Ludden Jump on board with him. Let's see if he is able to improve here. His teammate, he's off 1.2 seconds. His teammate currently on pole.
Yeah, teammate on pole. I tell you, I don't think now we're going to see times get much better from here. I think the track is starting to accumulate a lot of water, and we just saw a flash of lightning out there as well. So I think this could do it. It could just turn into kind of a practice session with these guys remaining 8.5 minutes.
So no improvement for Luden Cuppet in 6th. Taylor 7th. Houston with a nice time running in 8th. Yeah, the track has gone extremely wet. You can see the it's glistening.
Boy, pretty fortunate lap for David Poel, it has to be said. We know Alex White and the kind of speed that he has, so for David Poel to jump out there and by such a wide margin, about half a second there for that pole position, I think it's going to hold up for David.
Yeah, we're going to jump on board with him. He's on a flyer here. We got just under 8 minutes to go here in qualifying. Let's see what Dave's sector time looks like coming up.
Really struggling with grip around Spoon.
Yeah, the exit of Spoon is so tricky off camber, especially in the wet. Track falls away from you. Oh, Pool park it. Yep, so Larson's unable to improve. Marty. Gotta admit, great time put in for Marty Uren.
Yeah, it is, and that Ferrari will be a good performer around this place as well. So very good balance, can certainly get the car to turn well, which is what you need around this place. Good front grip, so nothing wrong with the Ferrari around here. It is nice to see Marty starting to improve his results here the last couple of events. So it took him a while to get going, but once he has, he's found a bit of rhythm.
See what his first split time looks like. Ooh, big slide on exit. Yeah, not a bad first split. He's off 7/10.
Yeah, I tell you, the races here we've either had pretty much wet conditions in the past or extremely hot. It seems like generally we get one or the other around this place, and both of them pose different problems.
Ooh, yeah. So Marty takes it off at Spoon, so just goes in a little too hot. Alex White has parked it. He's elected not to go back out. I think he knows he's not going to improve on his time. Cuppet Taylor's on a flyer here. Let's see what he can do. He's about a couple seconds, 3.2 off the pace.
Well, it is good practice for these guys. Whoa. If I'm in this situation, I definitely put a little bit of fuel on board and get some treaded rubber, go out and try to run a few laps.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If you neglected to do it in practice, you might as well do it when you can, right?
Yeah, and you know, for some of these guys, I'm thinking about the Ryan Schleif and Jonathan Cuppet in particular. You put a lot of time and practice into that perfect setup in the dry, and this can really throw you for a loop. If you get too focused on just going for that outright maximum speed, that setup can become pretty twitchy in the wet. I think that's what we're seeing from some of these guys.
Yeah, I suspect that. So, Houston nearly takes it off through Spoon, but pretty nice lap going for John. I don't think he's got much more in it, as the track is just way too wet. Yeah, you can see that second split is just way off, 3.4. Don't expect anyone really to improve. Trussell to 9th. Let's run down the order again. Kurt Chandler back in 10th. Chris Moses back there in 11th. A little surprised to see Chris back in 11th.
Yep.
I think he might have just got caught out, Brad.
Yep.
I think that Beamer would be pretty decent around here in the wet. I believe that is on Pirelli's. It is. Pirelli known to be a good wet weather tire.
Yeah, for sure. And Chris Moses' driving style, he does tend to need a setup that's biased toward the wet for him to have best speed in the wet. But otherwise, it takes him a while to get adjusted to how to drive the car around the condition.
Let's see what his second split time is. It's going to be another couple seconds off. Yep, 3.3 flat. Most guys losing all that time through after the first split, that middle sector. But Ryan Schleif was able to improve at least up to 12th, so he was way back in, I believe, 18th or 19th. So he's got serious pace. Now he's going to have to be patient and try and work his way through the field. During the race, going to be a tough challenge for him, though.
Well, it is, especially if you're starting kind of toward the middle of the pack, between that position 10 through 25th. That's really where the mayhem can ensue. If you're way back, you can just kind of lay off the throttle and let things sort out. If you're at the front, of course, that helps. So, yeah, tough spot to be in, but certainly plenty of experience, plenty of speed. So should be able to work his way up.
Monahan 13th, Jaime Moore up to 14th. So Iggy Chiordi is going to start 15th. That's a great starting position for him. Keane 16th. Triana jumped up to 17th.
Oh no. Iggy just disconnected.
Oh, that's a tough break. Let's see, Wilkerson back in 17th. Monroy, the Colombian, still sitting in 18th. No improvement for Juan Monroy. But he's just pounding out laps at this point, Brad.
Yep, good call.
Greg Myers 19th. There's about a minute and a half left here in qualifying. Montgomery Jr. 20th. Gomez 21st.
I'm surprised to see Salem that far off the pace as well. Apparently he didn't get a good lap in. He's carrying some weight, but not enough to justify that starting position.
Palacio 23rd, filling in for Thiago Canola. Kevin Miller back in 24th. Swain back there in 25th. So a little surprised to see Swain is unable to get put a lap together here in qualifying. Mascarelli running 26th. Calderon 27th. Rolf Story 29th. Lugnuts in 30th. Halili 31st. So all these guys stuck in the back. Preto gonna have to keep our eye on Preto, current points leader, serving a no qual tonight, as he makes his way through the field with Ian Jolicoeur. So those two are gonna be dicing their way through. It's gonna be fun to watch. All right, so everybody's parked it. Parsons is out there. Just a few seconds left here in qualifying. David Poole. That's big for him and his team, Brad.
Yeah, it really is, and we'll get to those points here shortly, but it is tight as tight can be up there at the top in those two classifications. So, yeah, we are running out of events here, Al, and it's really time to start making that final push and see who's going to break out of the pack for those top spots and the big prizes, Al.
Yeah, so David Poole takes pole. White second. And there you have it, Aaron Parsons in third. So if you're just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of GTR2, GT2 class, Monday Night League here from Suzuka. Round 7. critical round as the championships are ever so close.
Well, they are close, and as noted, the times actually in the wet also very close. This track is actually a very difficult track to pass at, despite its length and all the corners on this place. It is not an easy place to get around people. Your best opportunity really is into that casino hairpin, or possibly the first corner if you can get out of that hairpin well. So this track leads to a lot of action and a lot of close racing. These guys that plan on scoring some good points tonight are going to have to mind their P's and Q's.
So David Poel with the pole time of a 2:08.447, followed by Alex White. That's a pretty two Porsches on the front row. Parsons third in the Mercedes.
Yeah, looking back a little bit, I was thinking about cars that are good for the track. The Porsches certainly are. The Mercedes of Aaron Parsons, maybe not so much, but he is very good at the track, which helps. But Salem Montgomery Jr., he did manage to jump up into 14th. This is our third place in drivers' points, Salem Montgomery Jr., but still, he's running mid-pack. Made a late jump up, which was good, but still having some work to do for Salem.
So we talked about Prieto starting with the penalty starting from the back of the pack. He is our current points leader. 103 championship points in the Drivers' Championship. 1 point behind him is Aaron Parsons. So Parsons is going to be starting third. And that is huge as Prieto, a tough track to pass at. He's got to make his way through a boatload of guys to get up close to the front, which he can do, but it's just going to take time. And it's going to be interesting what his pit strategy is going to be here tonight.
That's true. These guys are going to have some pit strategy options. They won't need a full tank of gas on their stop, so they have some wiggle room on that. Andres Prieto is really going to have to be patient on this track. He'll have an advantage in the Viper with the power down the long front straight, but nonetheless, it is a difficult place to get around, and he certainly does not want to come up with a penalty here and put himself at the back again next week.
Certainly not. And, last week's winner at Bathurst, Montgomery Jr., is going to start 14th tonight, but sitting third in the championship with 93 points. Chris Moses, he's 11th on the grid. He's fourth right now, and David Poel in fifth with 67 points, starting from pole here tonight. So this is going to be a good, important race for David, not only for him, but for his team, 05 Motorsport. Now let's talk about the teams, Brad, because you know I know how much you love the old team championship. We got a two-way tie up front between Team Columbia Nuis, that's Prieto and Jaime Moore, with 139 points. They're tied with T. Brock Dambam, the Australian, Aaron Parsons, and John Houston. Both those teams with 139. Tied for second, Precision Motor Racing, Chris Moses and Matt Taylor with 134. 05 Motorsports, David Poel and John Ludden with 134 points. Actually, they just jumped up to 135 now that David got pole. So a 1 point advantage for 05 Motorsport.
Yeah, well, let's not forget their disastrous points results out there at Daytona. So David Poel couldn't make it. John Ludden had a terrible night out there, our first event, so they only collected 6 points at that Daytona event and have done really fantastic work. This is, you have to say, is the strongest team with the best chance in the end of getting it done. Both the guys very fast, but you have to be impressed with the quote-unquote second place or kind of secondary drivers on those top teams. So it's Jaime Moore for Team Columbia Nuis, of course, and John Houston for T. Brock Dambam. Both those guys have been putting in fantastic efforts. Jaime Moore just about challenged for that win last week at the Bathurst, as you recall, Al. Didn't quite work out for him, but still nonetheless a third place and some great points for that team.
And we should mention Desert Dog Racing in third with 109 points. That's Salem Montgomery Jr. and Kurt Chandler, and they are certainly not out of it. The team points swing dramatically week after week, so it's going to be fun to watch that as the season winds down here. It's a 10-round season, so 4 to go, including this one, as the session has changed over to the warm-up. 5 minutes of warm-up. These guys will go out, practice their stops, practice their pit entries, and then move it over to the race. So those of you tuning in, if you are watching on Twitch, you can click on the GTR2 banner for live timing for tonight's race, or if you're watching on the site, just click on GTR2 live timing and bring you to the same location. You can track your favorite driver. It's a good indicator of how everybody's doing out there, and as well as how much time is left in the session. Sometimes it's hard for us to even figure it out.
Yeah, of course, you know, having the ability only to run one camera here, and we got 2 sets of eyeballs, but sometimes it's not enough, so anybody wanting to check out their favorite driver, make use of that resource.
Session currently is dry. Qualifying 1 and 2 were wet, so let's see if these conditions are going to hold up here, Brad. But while we wait for this session, I'm going to step away for one moment. I'm going to get a beverage.
You got it out. Yeah, so real quickly, wanted to touch back on this Desert Dogs Racing team in 5th place. Of course, that would be Salem Montgomery Jr. and Curtis Chandler there in that Ginetta. It has shown very good pace this season, and of course, coming off the win for Salem Montgomery Jr. at Bathurst, had a big climb in points. So that point spread between 5th to 1st is actually only 30 points. And shoot, I mean, if things go completely right for them, they could actually come away in the lead of that team championship. Is how quickly that classification can change. So that was absolutely right. Those points far from decided yet, with those 4 events left to go. But of course, this one is the one we're at tonight, and quite a crowd pleaser. There's very few drivers that don't appreciate this track, driving it, and I tell you, over the week of practice here, we have seen quite a few people on the server on a regular basis and putting in quite a few laps. So the drivers should certainly be ready to go. Some interesting news and notes from this race. We've hit on some of them, but just to reiterate, we're going to have some pretty speedy guys toward the rear of this field looking to make their way forward. In the likes of Andres Prieto and Ian Jolicoeur. John McIntyre looks like he had a disconnect in qualifying, but he looked like he actually had pretty good pace. So John McIntyre will be back toward the bottom end of this field as well to start. So that's interesting. We saw, again, want to hit on Salem Montgomery Jr. Hit on him a little bit already, but in that 14th spot, he is certainly going to want to move his way forward as well. Salem not typically involved in these close driver championships. Has certainly made some noise in them starting the last couple seasons, but well and truly in the fight this time. So we'll see what kind of effect that has on him and just how anxious he's going to be to try to get some positions back from that 14th spot. So we saw Mike Trussell early in that qualifying period actually turned in the 2nd best time, but he will slot in here in the 9th position for our race, which is coming up here just momentarily. So
yeah, thank you, Brad. I am back. And I don't think McIntyre qualified. He tends to not qualify. I'm not sure why, but I saw him there in the pit lane for most of the session. So I think he elected to sit out the qualifying and just start from the back. So we got just a few seconds here to go in the warm-up, and then it's over to the race, Brad.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. The start, as always, is going to be very critical, but perhaps more critical at this track than some others because the opportunities to pass are so limited. And again, the aggression factor for some of these guys trying to come through the field is really going to be telling, I think, and is going to have a bit of an outcome on the first lap. I suspect that we will see some shenanigans. We just hope it's not going to be too bad or too much. These drivers certainly have been briefed on being careful.
Yep, they certainly have been, and the main issue here is going into one. The guys get too wide and go too wide into that corner, and the way the corner goes, the person on the inside has a tendency to wash out, and that's where you see a lot of the issues and guys getting pushed out into the gravel. So hopefully these guys keep everything in check and we have a good run here. But in that hairpin, it's always touch and go, as well as the chicane.
And then of course the chicane at the first lap too. Yeah, that start really does elicit the possibility of having some three-way side to side to side action, and it funnels down into that first corner, no more than 2 abreast. So yeah, there you go.
All right, well, let's run down the starting order here tonight, Brad. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, starting from pole is David Poel. Second, Alex White. Parsons going to start third. Marty Uren fourth. John Lynn's going to start fifth.
Jonathan Cuppet is going to take 6th. Matt Taylor is in 7th. John Houston 8th. Mike Trussler in 9th. And Curtis Chandler 10th.
Chris Moses is going to start 11th. Ryan Schleif 12th. Monahan 13th. Montgomery Jr. is going to start 14th. Jaime Moore 15th.
Juan Monroy takes 16th. Jared Keene, good to see him, in 17th. Rodrigo Triana takes 18th. Dan Wilkerson 19th. Gregory Myers in 20th.
Omar Gomez is going to start 21st. Felipe Triana 22nd. Palacio 23rd. Connor Swain 24th. Kevin Miller is going to start 25th.
Lou Mascarelli's in 26th. Sergio Calderon 27th. Sam Rolfe 28th. Brian Story 29th. And Johnny Lugnut's 30th.
Iggy Chiordia, he's going to start 31st. Preto 32nd. Jolie Core 33rd. And John McIntyre 34th. I think we lost somebody, Brad, but
did we?
we had 37 or 38. But maybe not. We got 30 seconds to go here. David Poel still in the pit lane.
Yeah, well, the track conditions are good. Actually, it's not exceptionally hot yet. That can change, but yeah, you should know what tire he wants to start on and get going. Actually, the temperature just jumped up a degree or two.
Yeah, it's about 90-degree ambient temperature, hot track. I'm going to have to keep my eye on Cuppet and Schleif coming from mid-pack. Those guys are quick. But right now, it's the Porsche domination up front. So we're about to go green here from Suzuka. Great start from both Porsches. Wow, leaving second row in the dusk. David Poel is going to lead the way into turn 1. Parsons going to shuffle into third, and John Luden right behind him in fourth. Taylor takes it out wide, gets it gathered back up. See the field making its way through the S's. Trussell having a look on the inside of Cuppet. Cuppet's going to hang on to that spot. Yeah, it looks like the field's making its way through here pretty nicely. David Poel.
Yeah, very nice.
David Poel with a great start, putting a little bit of a gap on Alex White here early. And White's coming under some pressure from Parsons.
You know, it's not uncommon to see Alex White, when he does make a slow start, to kind of take his time a little bit, let the car settle in, and then find his pace. Now, is Mike Monahan going off early? Other than that, it has been a very clean start through the field.
Field making their way through Spoon.
Boy, Jaime Moore. God, where did Jaime Moore start?
Well, Preto's already up to 20th after starting 33rd.
Shocking. Surprised he's not up to 5th.
Bentley's running too wide into 130R. Wow, teammates. Wow, what a great job. They get through there nicely. A little contact between Swain and it looks like Joe LaCour.
Well, by and large, very clean through the casino chicane. They're nicely done for these guys. Still some hectic moments to come, but they have survived the first couple laps here very nicely.
Oh, Say hi to Peanut Gangster, who's joined the broadcast.
Ah, nice. Yeah, Peanut.
Gonna jump on board with Parsons. He's putting a lot of pressure on Alex White for that second position. Parsons up to the hairpin. Ooh, White takes it a little wide, goes in a little too hot, but maintains that position.
Yeah, looking a little flustered is Alex White. Now that is a very rare thing to see, so not sure what's going on with that, but definitely feeling the heat at the moment.
Further back, Cuppet has dropped back down to 8th after starting from 6th. John Houston's moved up a position to 7th. Big race for Houston. Made that big mistake at Interlagos, cost his team quite a bit of points. Cuppet's going to have a run on Houston into 130 yards. Having a look on the inside. Oh, gives it up.
Yeah, very well judged there. That is a very difficult spot to try to take advantage on the inside. You're pretty much forced to back off if you just can't get all the way ahead of him again.
We got a pack of Colombians, Monroy, Triana, and Triana. All in Audis.
Yeah, sure do. Speaking of Colombians, you mentioned Andres Prieto moving up. He has just taken the 20th spot. Of course, Ian Jolicoeur started right by him, and Ian Jolicoeur, they've been lockstep moving up through the field, running around the 20th spot.
So yeah, Jolicoeur up to 20th. Prieto just involved in a bit of a tussle there going into turn 1. Actually going into the chicane. The couple. Ooh, as Swain takes it off. Looks like Alex White is having some. Oh, somebody said he locked up, but looks like he's still running in that second position.
Yeah, still there, and I have to say these guys are starting to make a little few inroads here back on David Poel, so this could quickly become a three-way fight for the lead. The track temperature actually has gone down now a couple degrees, so that preserves the tires.
Like the battle up front as Alex White has settled down a little bit. It's starting to make some inroads on David Poel leading.
Yeah, and like I said, we have seen that in the past from Alex White. I think the surprise here is Eric Parsons really showing some great pace here in that Mercedes. I would have thought, of course, he would have been able to make some ground on here, but not the case. He's driving a great race here early.
A question from Sudden Data. Yeah, this is GTR2 Thursday nights as our Assetto Corsa broadcast. Also a GT2 series. Ken Rodriguez runs the broadcast on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
9 p.m. Eastern.
Ken doing some great work out there. Now Al toward the back right now, over 29th. Not quite in the points yet, but still hell of a battle going on back there.
Yeah, just picked that up. Prieto doing battle with Kevin Miller in the Bentley on board with Prieto. Peanut Gangster asks, this is a very curvy track. Yes, it is. And Prieto gets the pass made on Kevin Miller. So Swain rejoins behind Mike Monahan. Looks like, yeah, Mike Monahan had that off. He's back at 24th.
Yeah, and has been actually, I'd say, stayed pretty unflustered there through that event. Just got back on track and started working the traffic as he's coming through. So pretty patient start, and I think he's got a good opportunity to pick up some spot. Jaime
Moore with some front end damage to that Viper. Not sure what happened to him. Looks like he got caught up in something.
Well, an important part of that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Al. An important part of that Newey's team, huh? So you definitely want to pick up some positions here.
Talked about that battle up in the back here. We got Palacio, Jared Keane, and Johnny Lugnut's up ahead in that Cadillac. Esteban in the Panos. This is his second race back. Well, you know Esteban's got pace. It's just it takes time to get reacclimated here. He'll be all right.
It does, and you know, yeah, and this Panos is kind of a different cat.
Ooh, as one of the Bentleys goes off. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a difficult car to set up, difficult car to figure out how to drive with that setup, so Esteban will be okay, but still shaking off the cobwebs out.
Battle with for 18th between Joe LaCour. Ooh, the Bentley really taking a defensive line there. Brian Story. These guys itching to make their way past. More with Ian. Look on the inside, he does.
Yeah, as you watch that battle, I'll keep you apprised here of the battle going on in 6th place at the moment. A 4-way battle between some of our championship contenders.
Yeah, this is a case here where Story's running, he's running consistent lines. Guys behind him, most likely quicker than he is, but no, he's not just going to give way. He's going to have to earn that pass. Making their way through the Dunlop curve.
It's just so difficult to pass around this place. The nature of the corners aren't good, and then the aero wash you get from the car in front doesn't help matters either.
LaCour looks like he's getting a bit impatient here. Has a look on the inside.
Yeah, and he can get that way.
Guys duke it out. Let's look further back. Oh, Connor Swain just made a nice move on Gomez for that 22nd spot. Let's turn our way. Ooh, Story just took it off. So he felt the heat. Now it's Preto and Joe LaCour side by side up to 130R. It looks like Preto's going to get the pass, mate. He does.
Now got off Spoon very nicely and put the Viper power to good use. If he can manage to hold on through the Casino Chicane, he should be able to pull away down the straight.
So Joe LaCour, it'd be good for him just to follow Preto around, make up some positions. Trussler now up to 10th. Battle out front remains the same. David Poel leading White and Parsons, his top three.
Yeah, that battle still is on over the 6th place, so still a 4-way battle and very tight one here for that 6th spot. In fact, I think they are creeping up on Marty Urin, so that's becoming a 5-way battle for 5th.
David Poel, fast lap of the race so far, 2:02.154. Parsons right behind him. The top three running very similar times. 2:02. 2:02.1, 2:02.2. Yeah, 3. It's your second time.
Well, John Luden falling off the pace of those guys in 4th just a little bit, but certainly hanging in well enough at this point, and looking to be earning some good team points for that 05 Motorsports squad as they run.
So Marty kind of on his own right now. Oh, he's got some heat behind him from John Houston. Matt Taylor's up to 7th. Cuppet. So Houston has picked up a couple spots. Cuppet has dropped 2. Chris Moses behind him at 9th. Go with Moses.
Yeah, picking up only 2 spots so far for Chris Moses from his 11th place grid.
This group of cars slowly creeping up on Marty Uren in 5th. Further back, we got Monroy tucking up behind Ryan Schleif into 1. Monroy looking on the outside, checks up. Schleif really taking that bet right to the wall.
Just take a look back through timing and scoring to see Andres Prieto actually has moved up into the 18th spot, but Ian Jolicoeur has dropped back to 21st.
So Jolicoeur might have had off. Greg Myers earning up in the points in 15th. Felipe Triano, last man, in the points in 16th. Behind him is Rodrigo Triano. So these guys, we got battles all over this track, Brett.
Yeah. Hard to know where to look out.
It really is. As Prieto now has got some open track running in 18th. Dan Wilkerson behind him, and behind Wilkerson we got Jolicoeur with Story. Jolicoeur finds himself back behind Brian Story and Connor Swain in there as well. Connor Swain nearly getting into the back of Ian.
Fascinating, this track. Type of patience you have to employ around here. You really have to try to set a guy up and be in this one for the long haul. You know, pit stops are going to play a big role here tonight, and who's going to be able to gain advantage in the pits.
Well, Jolicoeur makes the move on Brian Story. Connor Swain tried to follow suit, had a little bit of contact, but Story hung on to that position. Back in 24th, right behind Jaime Moore. He's still unable to pick up any spots. McIntyre back there running in 26th, followed by Kevin Miller. Lugnuts. Calderon, haven't talked about him. Him and Sam Rolfe and Jared Keane all close together.
Yeah, just a quick interruption here. Alex White actually had been giving up a little bit of ground to David Poel and had just made a mistake in the first sector. Aaron Parsons has gone by for the 2nd spot.
It's not what Prieto wanted to see for sure.
Yeah, and that gives David Poel a little bit of breathing room up there. So that gap about 2 seconds. David Poel to Aaron Parsons in 2nd.
We'll look at the timing real quick to see that gap. 1.8 seconds separating Poel and Parsons. Very close up front. Eddie Uren only 5 seconds off the front runner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, John Luden. But John Luden's starting to close up a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say maybe just a little bit. In the meantime, John Houston has caught up to Marty Uren for 5th, but the battle that was behind him, he's got a little bit of a gap on those, so those guys are now in a fight for 7th place, but it is still a tight one. Cuppet, Taylor, and Moses.
Yeah, Cuppet has made his way past Taylor. And the 2 teammates, PMR teammates, Taylor leading Chris Moses on the front straight.
I cannot tell you how nervous it is following a guy into that first corner. It's hard to see. You got to get the braking just right into there. You get a little bit of arrow wash. So easy to run wide when you're following a guy through there trying to brake on the limit. It is a pressure situation every time.
Question about tires here. This sim we run, it's changeable weather, so that the conditions can change at any time. It could start dry, go wet, go damp. start wet and go dry. You have different options: soft, mediums, hards. Soft wet, intermediate, and hard wet. So most guys probably on the hard, the medium tire, given the track temp, 88-degree track temp. But it varies per car. Some cars tend to run their tires a little rougher than others.
Well, only 8 laps in. It seems like we've been running out here laps already with the amount of action we've had, and still a little ways to go before we start seeing some pit stops come up. But I tell you, I'm just looking at the timing and scoring and the gaps out there on track, and particularly those positions 5 through about 15 are going to be so critical for these guys in terms of their pit stop and just how well they handle it.
Yeah, big slide there from Houston. He really needed to come off that corner a little better than that if he wanted to get a hard left in time there to Marty.
And that's really where the Mercedes is going to take full advantage over the Ferrari, is that straight line speed. So that is exactly where he needs to get off well.
Monroy now has caught up to Cuppet. This battle here for 10th between Chandler, Schleif, and Monroy. Not sure what happened to Montgomery Jr. He was running behind. Ooh, big lurch there from Triana. Running behind Curtis. Pareto now is up to 15th. So Montgomery Jr. is back to 32nd.
Wow. Yeah, I totally lost out on that, Al. I have no idea what's happened there. I don't think it was a result of an early pit stop, showing up at a lap of 2 minutes 52. That might be an early pit stop, Al.
Yeah, that would be interesting if he decided to do that, but we'll see how that plays out for him. So back out front, it is Poel continuing to lead here over Parsons and White.
I tell you, with the amount of traffic out there, that would actually be quite a bit of good strategy, possibly. Sam Montgomery Jr. just
have a
coming
good
out
night,
at the back
Peanut.
of the field there. Oh, good night, Peanut.
Thanks for watching.
Peanut Gallery has left, Al.
Yep. That's my nephew. Nice kid, nice
wow.
kid.
Talking about fights throughout the...
Go ahead, Brent.
Talking about fights throughout the field. 27, 28, 29. Look, that's Keen and Roll. You guys are duking it out back there.
Houston got a nice exit out of the chicane. Gonna have a look at Marty here into one. Mercedes power. Yeah, he's gonna get it made as long as he can hang on to it. Ooh, he does. Really took it out wide.
Having made that mistake, having the advantage into one, Al, makes me nervous just watching these guys.
A great move by Houston. Marty dips back to 6th. So Cuppet now starting to reel these guys in. It's been a bit of a lackluster season for Cuppet, but he's really got it together here tonight.
Well, it started off poorly, but he has started to put in the results here. Coming down, the last couple 3 events, he has outperformed teammate Ryan Schleif in the majority of these events here recently.
So these guys really tight. Cuppet having a look. Nope. Ooh, as Houston with a big slide. Ooh, nearly gives up that position. So, yeah.
Yeah, Houston was following behind and being so focused on trying to gain that position. Once that focus shifts after you make that pass, things really change. It takes you a couple laps to adjust sometimes.
Looks like
seeing that clear track out.
Looks like Moses has made a mistake. He's fallen back to 11th behind Schleif.
Oops.
And Chandler. So it's Taylor, followed by Chandler, Schleif, Moses, and Monroy. Monroy showing some good pace. Down for Monroy.
He's been down, he's been been up and currently going back up at the moment.
Really nose to tail action here at Suzuka.
Yeah, I'm going to be fascinated to see what these stops bring.
Yeah, this battle for fifth is really heating up as Houston hasn't been able to pull away from Marty. Marty hanging on to the back of John. Cuppett closing up on this battle.
Yeah, the names have changed over this battle for fifth, but the battle is still on.
And that rear end of Houston, very loose. Seeing him step out at a few places. Marty really all over the back of him now into the hairpin. Marty gonna have a look on the inside? No. Maybe. Nope.
Yeah, John Houston, let's not forget, has certainly cranked up his performance. He's been doing a great job the last couple seasons, but still in all, not what you can quite call a veteran in these types of situations, having to battle close for some of the top spot. But boy, that T-Brock Dam Bam squad has got a great setup on this Mercedes.
Yeah, they certainly do.
Just was taking a look through.
Sorry, having a look on the inside. Ooh, very. Ooh, Marty's gonna hang on to it. He does. That was a great pass from Marty.
Yeah, this could very well allow Cuppett to get a draft.
Yeah. Exactly. Cuppett's going to have a look on the inside. Ooh, thought better of it. Oh, very easy to just throw it in there. And Cuppett got twice.
Well, Houston nearly, half a tire on the grass, Al. That's twice we've seen it, man. He's going to have to be careful now. Toward the front there.
Got another one on the curb. Oh, he's really running ragged right now, Brad. I don't know if it's the pressure or what, but he's got to get himself together here.
Yeah, absolutely, it's the pressure. Again, that focus shifted when he was able to get past Marty. Of course, the tires are wearing a little bit. That doesn't help, but this is definitely more just a pressure situation. He's trying to feel his way at the moment. I should get in quickly, actually. The battle for the front has not gone away. In fact, Aaron Parsons has been able to pick up some ground here on our leader, David Poel, as these guys prepare for their pit stop.
Yeah, as they're actually starting to approach some lap traffic. We've been following these guys all that much, basically just because of what's going on behind them. But yeah, this gap has been relatively unchanged. The only change has been between the second and third spots. Parsons taking advantage of a mistake from White several laps back. However, Poel now approaching that might be Lou. Poel giving him the business.
Yeah, lap time still in the 02s for these guys.
Ooh, Alex White into the pits.
Ah, first to blink.
So checking the lap times. Yeah. Well, we're close to that window. Expect guys to come in around lap 14 or 15. Max distance 29 laps.
Yeah, Cuppett and Moses in as well, so they are well and truly beginning their pit stop. So,
what?
The question is now, are we going to have any double stinting of tires out there?
Yeah, that's something we're going to have to keep an eye out. I think Preto's one guy who may take that chance. But that took a little time for Poel and Parsons to get by that lap car, but in doing so, it allowed Parsons to tuck up right behind David Poel.
Yeah, times have not been dropping off too much now. The track temperature has started to climb once again. It's been all over the place, and actually climbed pretty quickly here in the last 5 or 6 laps. But tires seem to be holding up pretty good.
Just running in 8th. Looks like a lot of guys have elected to come into the pit lane, Brad.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll start checking on those delta times here and see if we can get a sense of who might be double stinting their tire.
So Houston comes out behind Salem. So you got to wonder if Houston had a bad stop or Salem just took advantage of clear traffic pitting early. Interesting strategy if that was the case from Salem. Let's take a look at these times here.
Yeah, that was exactly my point when we saw Salem back there. He did have a lot of clean track in front of him after he exited the pits early.
309 for Houston. 256 for Moses. Looked like Houston had a poor stop.
Yeah. Yeah, a little flustered. Lost some time on track. Lost a little more in the pits. Poel and Parsons in, Al.
Leaders are in. Meanwhile, McIntyre looking on the inside of Gomez into the 130R. It's going to hang on to that.
Yeah, McIntyre, very experienced, a guy you can always feel comfortable running close to. And Omar in.
Omar in the pits. Jaime Moore in as well. Marty exiting the pit lane. 13 comes out just ahead of Cuppin.
Wow.
Nice stop from Marty. Comes out ahead of Moses. So now Salem stuck behind some traffic. Some of these guys who have yet to pit. But Salem Rolf right ahead of him. Iggy Chiordia, all these guys still need to make their stops. Preto rejoins. Looks like Preto has pitted. Comes out right behind Felipe. Joe LaCour now behind, not too far off of Preto. He's kind of lost touch with Joe LaCour, but looks like Joe LaCour has come in for service. And about 3-4 seconds off of Preto.
Yeah, and once these pit stops shake out, we'll have a real good sense of what's going on. But I can tell you, Aaron Parsons, Alex White, David Poel, Parsons, and White have all come into the pits, and I tell you, are these guys good or what? They are running the exact same gaps that they had when they came into the pits. So exactly static in terms of time here in the pits and out.
So Ryan Schleif has taken over the race lead. Chandler currently in the pits. Luden exiting the pit lane. Ooh, David Poel under intense pressure from Parsons in the 1. Parsons having a look on the outside. Oh, wow. All three of those guys still nose to tail. Advantage David Poel in the pit lane. Ooh, Parsons with a mistake allows White by. Looks like he got a wheel in that curve, upset the car. Saw his teammate do the same thing a few laps back.
I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with David Poel. He has been under intense pressure this whole race. Now, David Poel is an incredibly consistent driver, no stranger to the front of the pack. but he has just managed it brilliantly, has not shown any signs of cracks at all.
No, he has been rock solid so far here tonight. Now he's got to deal with Alex White. Loudon rejoins, which will be fourth once Schleif comes in.
See,
Marty.
309 lap.
So Marty comes out just ahead of John Cuppett and Matt Taylor right there as well. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Chris Moses. So Chris Moses beats out his teammate in the pit lane. So nice stop from Moses.
Yeah, Chris Moses typically very good in the pit lane, so not too surprising there.
I'm pretty impressed with the consistency of just about everybody so far here tonight. I mean, we've already been through a pit cycle. Usually, you know, things spread out a little bit. A couple guys remain together, but we're seeing the same group of cars involved after the pit stops.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of guys have really tightened up that a bit over the intervening seasons here at NAGP. Some of the guys not as good on the stops, I think, have improved a little bit, so it's good to see. Two guys yet to come in. Now, I'm seeing from a couple guys, I think John Houston in particular, I show him as a 309 lap, and a lot of the guys showing a 254 for their pit stop time here.
Yeah, I think
So
I think Houston had a bad stop. I mean, I don't think he would have. I'm sure that him and Parsons would have talked, and I'm sure those guys would have been on the same strategy. Unless you're thinking these guys are double stint.
Yeah, if they are double stinting, then most of the field has. Haven't been watching closely enough to see if the guys are going up on the jacks, trying to get a handle of where everybody's running out on track and keeping a handle of the pit stops and all the action that's going on as well. So it's been a little difficult.
Well, taking a look at last season's, well, last time he ran it, pit stops around the same time. 250s, 254, 254, yep. White had a 303 in and out, so it's tough to say as White's having a look on the outside of Poel into one. Wow.
Wow. Let me tell you something now. That is extremely difficult to do. What great control by both those guys.
That was quite the opportunity for White. But, I mean, you carry enough momentum on the inside. It's tough to make that move on the outside into one.
Boy, it sure is. In some ways, it's the preferred line because the groove is actually out toward the outside, but it does switch back to the inside. So the advantage is short-lived, and boy, that the outside comes up very quickly. The outside grass and gravel.
Ooh, Parsons really close to White going into the hairpin as these guys once again approaching lap traffic. That's Jared Keane in the Sunred.
What an amazing battle these three have had up front.
It's been like this the entire race. Pretty amazing. So we got about 20 minutes left to run here. Poel trying to take advantage of Keane's draft. Keane doing everything he can to stay out of the way of these guys.
You know, you kind of get the sense, for as well as David has driven here, that if he does get past, he could be in trouble. So you may choose to be pretty aggressive on trying to defend that position, as Aaron Parsons almost gets it wrong on the exit of 130 yard.
Poel using all that curve through the chicane. Well, White now going to have another look. Once again, same maneuver, same defense from Poel. Wow. Ooh, Poel getting all up on that curve. Nearly lost it. What an incredible race, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why these guys are routinely at the top of the scoring sheets by season's end, season after season. Now, David Poel has not quite clipped that top spot yet. He's always in it, but these guys are the veterans of the veterans around here at NAGP, and they're showing it.
More lap traffic up ahead.
So a few news and notes going on a little further back in the field, but don't want to interrupt that action at the front here just yet, Al.
Ryan Schleif has yet to pit.
Yeah.
Take a look at that
I was
gap.
just gonna mention that myself.
Seconds. Ooh, as one of the a little touch and go moment between White and the Viper. I believe that was Jaime.
Yeah, and that was exactly one of the things I was going to mention, the struggles of some of the guys toward the back, Jaime Moore being one of them. So important points that he is not collecting for that team. Ryan Schleif into the pits, Alan, and this of course will be a double stint on tires. You're not going to take it that long out on track if you aren't going to keep the rubber on board. Lap times in the 04s, his last lap, so not the best times out there, but he will gain a
he's away.
time here. Yeah.
Luden's got him beat. He's going to come out right behind Luden in 5th. Well ahead of Marty, but gotta wonder, now it's a good time to see what his in and out time was.
Yeah, when he crosses the stripe, we'll definitely check that out.
2:37, so he definitely double stint. I don't think he's going to have... It's not going to be long before Marty starts and the rest of the pack behind him starts reeling those guys in. Starts reeling Schleifen, I should say.
Yeah, I see. Well, what are we looking at?
Ooh, Parsons takes it wide. Didn't lose too much time. So these guys are dicing their way through lap traffic. Lap guys so far doing a great job.
Yeah, keeping a close eye here on the second part of that Team Columbia Newies team. Andres Prieto only in 15th, so not collecting a lot of points for those guys tonight. This could be a radical shift of fortunes for that team.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Prieto hasn't been able to make his way through the field here. As White now again. I got to reiterate what Brad said. I mean, the pressure and all three of these guys, the job they're doing. Ooh, as White. Looks like there might have been some contact there between White and Parsons. Oh, that's good news for Poel. I'm not sure if there was contact. I think White might have gotten it wrong, and Parsons didn't have anywhere to go.
I thought I did see a little bit of contact there. It looked like actually as a stop there, looking to give the position back, but not 100% on that. But in any event,
yeah, I just saw the replay. I think there was some contact there. So yeah, Parsons did check up a bit to let him back by, but got back on it when they didn't want to let Poel get too far ahead.
Well, I'm not going to say it was inevitable something like that was going to happen, but those guys are running so close, and I think David Poel is a little off pace compared to those two guys behind him, and it was tough in such close quarters.
Man, tell you what, Luden has really picked up the pace, and he's closed up. He's not far off the tail of Parsons and White. So about 4 or 5 seconds off those guys. Let's look further back. Ryan Schleif, we saw him running in 5th.
Holy cow. Luden in the 01s?
Marty Uren in 6th under some intense pressure from Cuppet. Moses running in 8th. Taylor back there in 9th. Juan Monroy's jumped up to 10th. Kurt Chandler 11th. Houston has made his way past Salem Montgomery Jr. So Jr.'s back in 13th. He's got Preto and Mike Trussler all over the back of him. Let's follow these guys around for a little bit. This is championship implications here as Montgomery Jr. behind Preto in the championship, but Preto's going to get the pass made. Trussler looking to take advantage, and he does get by. So Montgomery Jr. losing 2 positions through Spoon. So Joe LaCour back there in 16th, and he's not far off these guys either.
Yeah, well, that action was going on. Al had a quick update there in the fight over 6, so it was Jonathan Cuppet making his way past Marty Uren there in the Casino Chicane. They were nearly 3 wide, them and Moses, going to that Casino Chicane, so tight action there over 5th.
Connor Swain running 1 spot out of the points in 17th. Myers running in 18th. Got Wilkerson in 19th. Got a few disconnects tonight. 20th is McIntyre. Brian Story running in 21st. Palacio back there in 22nd. Kevin Miller, 23rd. In the Bentley Calderon, 24th. Sam Rolfe and Iggy Giordia duking it out for 25th. His teammate Omar behind him at 27th. Lugnut's running 28th. Jared Keane in 29th. Mascarelli in 30th. And that's it. Both Triana's out. So back out front here. The battle is now for 2nd. As Poole's got a bit of a gap over the... Oh, and Parsons going to give him the position. So Parsons gives up that spot to White. So White's going to take over second place. Good sportsmanship there.
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly what happened. I think that could have been a 50-50 deal there for Aaron Parsons if he felt he was at fault or not, kind of from the way I viewed it. But sometimes discretion is a better part of valor. And I kind of suspected that was going to be the case.
So Parsons really tucked up behind White going into 1, but did not take a look. Luden now dealing with some lap traffic. He gets by Giordia. Ooh, Omar locked up. Ryan Schleif now is about to succumb to his teammate Cuppet, who's on fresher tires, and that gap Schleif had after the pit stops quickly going away. Mid-pack battle kind of spread out a little bit.
You know, if you're Ryan Schleif at this point, you can't be feeling too bad. What was the starting position? 13th, I think, for Ryan. Actually, I dropped back a few positions from there, so I really do be running up there in 5th place, maybe only giving up a couple spots here. Only 6 or 7 laps to go, Al, so really not too bad a drive up for Ryan Schleif, all things considered.
Take a quick look at the gap. It's 3 seconds separating the top 3. Poel with a 2.6 second advantage over Alex White for first. With Parsons from 130 up.
David Poel lap times when he was fighting in the 03 mid-range, now running in the 01s. That's exactly the water he needed in the desert of competition he was having. Boy, looking through timing score here, Al, I gotta mention real quickly, Curtis Chandler, he has put in a remarkable drive, well and truly outperforming teammate Salem Montgomery Jr. Just outside the top 10 is Curtis Chandler. Great drive for Curtis.
Meanwhile, Juan Monroy has gotten past Matt Taylor for 9th. So Monroy with a late charge here.
Yeah, he sure has. Last time we checked in with Juan, I think it was back in the, 14th, 15th spot?
It's going to be interesting to see what Schleif decides to do here. If he lets his teammate past. Cuppett currently with a couple second gap over Chris Moses. Moses running in 7th. Cuppett's not going to want to lose too much time here behind his teammate if he knows if he's clearly faster.
Yeah, sorry, Al. Chris Moses actually has just picked up a couple spots here in the last couple laps, so up to 7th now for Chris Moses, and that's pretty good. He was embroiled in some very tough battles, but looks like he's found a little bit here late. Working on lap, well, what lap are we working on now? 23. So they're definitely running out here.
Yeah, quickly running. Oh, Poel makes a mistake! Gives up the top position. Oh my God, through 130R. Alex White is your new leader. We just caught the end of it. He's been running perfectly all night. And it looks like he just caught a curb there on the exit of 130R. Turned the car around. Wow. What a stunning turn of events.
So easy to do, and David Poel as consistent as they come, but everybody does make mistakes. That came at a bad time. Could have ended his race out.
And Aaron Parsons just made the pass on White into 1.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Stunning turn of events out.
Yes, shocker. So your new leader, Aaron Parsons.
Oh, Schleif throws it off into 1.
You got to wonder if he was trying to let his teammate by, or if he just took it off. I mean, at this point, he might be the only guy who's double stinted this race. Maybe Prato, but the tire wear probably just too much for him.
It looks like Andres actually has taken tires as well. Well, you know, you roll the dice, you take the gamble, and sometimes you come up a little short. It happens, but you got to respect the guy willing to... Oh! Moses involved in some contact with a spinning Cadillac.
Oh.
Wow, so plenty of fights and drama still unfolding here, so that Moses-Marty Uren battle is heated back up. Juan Monroy, Matt Taylor, and Ryan Schleif actually all still in lockstep as well. Tense moments as we close out this race.
I'm sorry, I hate to laugh, but it's just... he always finds himself involved with a Cadillac at some point. All right, so Moses now with Cuppett up ahead of him in 5th.
Boy, Moses is going to be in full press mode here. He has the opportunity to get up into the top 5, and I don't he struggled early, man. He's really going to be pushing here.
I don't think it's going to be this time around. He's got a little too much of a gap going into 1 on Cuppet. Cuppet with a big slide. So meanwhile up front, Parsons continuing to lead here. We got just a handful of laps to go. Working lap 25.
Boy, if you're David Poel, you have to be so good at it. It is tremendously difficult to win one of these races, and had he been able to pull it off with all that he had gone through, it would have been such a feather in the cap. But it has come undone for David Poel. Tough break.
Yeah, that gap Poel is now 5.9 seconds back, right with his teammate. I mean, regardless, still going to be a great points finishing night for 05 Motorsports. Ooh, as Parsons takes it wide on the exit of Spoon. That was a little dicey.
Yeah, Ezra has a lot of things working in his favor here over Alex White, and the main one of them being horsepower. Whoa, that was close. I think Alex White knows it. He's really trying to get close to make the pass into the casino hairpin.
Yeah, he's going to want a very clean exit out of here. Yeah, it's going to be tough to do that Mercedes. It's just too quick.
That's the battle around this place. It's so difficult to get through and get the pass done in the twisties. If you're down on horsepower, it's nigh impossible to get the pass done.
Ooh. Wow, that was close as White really got up close on Parsons there, locking up the brakes.
I tell you, Aaron Parsons pretty unflappable. Very unlikely he's going to make a mistake here, so Alex White's going to have to come up with something really special.
Well, the difference in speed down the straight is evident, and the difference in speed through the corners is evident here for the Porsche, as White is all over Parsons through the S's. Ooh, White takes it off.
Now that's rare.
Ooh, and he's having a hard time getting it going. That's going to move 05 into the podium positions.
Wow.
Wow, what a gift for 05. Oh my goodness.
So that is a mistake by each one of our most veteran drivers who drive the most consistently. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we've seen it. And it's a shocker. I mean, you gotta grant that White's pushing as hard as he can to stay up tight with Parsons. But wow, this is just breathing room for Aaron at this point. Gap is now 6.2 seconds. And with just a couple laps to go here, let's see. Where are we? Sorry.
Moses has gotten by Cuppet for the 5th spot, by the way.
Yeah, just picked that up. So Cuppet's still hanging on as Moses makes a little bit of a mistake.
Hanging that rear end out as usual. Wow.
I guess we shouldn't call it a mistake. Doing the norm. On board with Cuppet. Moses takes it off through the chicane. Well, I don't know. I mean, Moses picking up quite a bit of time there after that mistake. I'd be a bit perturbed if I was Cuppet.
Well, yeah, those things happen. It's a tough chicane, and you know everybody's going to have one of those most likely during the course of the event.
Moses gets by that Bentley without an issue. Cuppet does the same. Marty right there running in 7th. Take a quick look further back. Monroy running in 8th. And Taylor in 9th. Great run for Monroy after starting mid-pack.
Yeah.
Ryan Schleif now rejoined in 5th after his stop. Now back to 10th. He's about to get put down to 11th. As Kurt Chandler all over the back of him in the Ginetta.
Boy, and you know Curtis Chandler wants that top 10.
Absolutely. That'd be a great result for Kurt. The speed difference is pretty clear here as Kurt's looks like he's got pace over Schleif. Kurt having a look on the inside of Ryan.
Yeah, with that double stint, I've been watching Ryan Schleif a little bit. The front tires have just completely gone away from him. He's got hardly any front grip.
Man, that poor pit stop from Houston, stuck back there in 12th. What could have been?
Well, I tell you, I'm watching this gap come down very quickly. David pulled Aaron Parsons. I don't know if Aaron Parsons is getting held up in traffic or he should kind of throttling it at this point, but in any event, it's come down about 3 seconds here in 3 laps.
I'll tell you what, Marty Uren has really closed the gap up on Jonathan Cuppet for 6th.
Yeah, well, he got shuffled back to 7th. I mean, he had 5th place speed, but got shuffled back, and so I don't know why or how, but in any event. But Matt Taylor looking to do some damage here on Juan Monroy, just behind as well.
Side by side into one. Monroy's going to hang. Ooh, a little contact there. Monroy hangs on.
I didn't mean literal damage. Sorry.
That was a good look from Taylor. Back up front, yeah, David Poel has really closed the gap up on Parsons. Down to 2 seconds.
Looks like Andres is locked up. Yeah, that's what I was noticing too. Looks like Andres Prieto is locked up on the main straight. Nope, now he's going again.
Nope. Gap now 2 seconds. Working lap 28.
I can't imagine what's happened here to Aaron, but I don't think he would have just throttled back this much. Well, he wouldn't have. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, fuel. It must be fuel.
It could be a fuel issue. Yeah, he was 2 seconds off the that sector. His sector time. He might be running out of gas.
It's either fuel or engine, one of the two.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
He's out of gas.
He's out of gas.
Unreal. Wow. At the last lap, he's out of gas. David Poel takes the win. Shocker. Luden second. White is going to take 3rd. Now Parsons gets it. He's trying to get it going here to finish 4th. He might get it. He's going to get it. Oh my God, he took 4th. Moses 5th. Cuppet 6th. Marty 7th. Monroy 8th. Taylor's going to take 9th. Ryan Schleif, he's going to hang on to 10th. Good job from Ryan. Chandler's going to finish 11th. John Hewson's going to finish 12th. Unbelievable, Brad. I have never seen that. Those guys were pushing so hard that he ran it dry. Mike Trussler's going to take 13th. Prieto 14th. Joe LaCour 15th. Those 2 guys. Lockstep started side by side, finishing side by side. Connor 16th. Salem 17th. Out of the points. And I think that might be your last car on the lead lap. No, Greg Myers still on the lead lap. Going to finish 18th.
I'm showing McIntyre as last guy.
Yeah, McIntyre in a battle here with Wilkerson for that 19th position.
Looking to get one last good run coming off the chicane.
I cannot believe he ran out of gas. I'm shocked. Wilkerson flashing the lights. He loves it. McIntyre. Last car on the lead lap.
You know, you can't believe he ran out of gas, but it's almost as
Added an
unbelievable
extra.
he finished fourth.
David Poel, do you copy?
I do, Al. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? I mean, that was a stunning turn of events there. I'm sure you were gutted after that mistake through 130R, and then to see White take it off, and then as Aaron Parsons running out of gas, you must have been ecstatic, and your teammate coming in right behind you to take second.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. And John was saying the same thing. We just, yeah, unreal. Yeah, I made a mistake in there at 130. I was just looking at the traffic ahead. I was already thinking, what I'm going to do when I get up to him and just, dip the wheel off. I couldn't believe it. And then to have it come back, yeah, it's unreal. I hate it that it was because of the mistakes those guys made. But I mean, it was such a tight race for the whole race. It was so close. That was pretty intense. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that was going to be my question, just how you felt after running off at 130R. But I think instead I'll ask you about the incredible pressure you were able to hold up to there, David, through the first stint. I mean, lockstep and nary a crack under that pressure for you. That was pretty intense stuff, though.
It was. Those guys were, and there were a couple places that they were just much quicker than me, especially through the chicane. I don't know how they can get that through there. I was trying to keep from cutting. I don't know how they could go through there. They're so fast, but they were so consistent and fast through there. And a couple other places, and I was looking back a little more than I should have been. Those guys came around the outside of that turn one. That was crazy, side by side, several times through there, and yeah, it was that was an intense race for sure.
Well, huge boost for your team, no doubt. I gotta commend you. We talked about Brad and I were talking about the pressure. All three of you guys were under. Each of you guys were just spot on the whole race, even in and out of the pit lane. It was just amazing. So you guys did a great job. And Luden hung on there and was just pumping out, solid laps. Especially his second stint was great, and paid off for him, finishing second. So
yeah,
go ahead.
He went really long on that first stint. I don't know. I'm not sure why, and I almost said something to him, but I had too much other stuff on my mind that I almost said something. But obviously, it worked out for him, and he was going really quick at the end. So, yeah, for the team, I mean, fantastic. Couldn't have been better, and I think that's maximum points for the night. So, yeah, hopefully that puts us back in the lead, and we'll keep working on it.
So, how do you feel? I know your favorite track coming up next, Monza. How do you think you guys will shape up there?
I think I'll shape up to lose some weight.
All right. Well, great job again, David, and congratulations. And tell John we said congratulations to him as well on a great run.
Yeah, will do. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
Good luck next week. All right, Brad. Wow, what a race tonight as David Poel takes a shocking victory. Just incredible battles all the way through the field. It was just one of the best races we've ever covered, I have to admit.
Yeah, and I'm kind of speechless myself still. We see a lot of great action around NAGP. This type of track and the nature of it, and the guys really look forward to it and prepare for it, and then the nature of the track itself just lends itself to some great action, and we were not disappointed tonight. So big shakeups in the points tonight. I think the big story we have to come away with really is that Team Columbia Newies now just collecting just a couple points here tonight, and they are going to drop out of that co-top spot to 05 Motorsports. So big news and notes to cover next week, Al.
Yeah, there's going to be a big shift in points, both driver and team. So, yeah, until next week, we're going to be at Monza next Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully you guys can tune in for that. Until then, this Thursday, we will be at the Red Bull Ring, formerly the A1 Ring, Assetto Corsa GT2, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Ken Rodriguez will have the broadcast for that race, so hopefully you guys can tune in then. If not, we'll see you guys all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Brett.